Hello everybody and welcome to another episode. I'm still hemming these pants. It is a very boring job. I did do the other one that was ragged and I finished his gray sweatpants. So those two are done. He's washed it and he's wearing them. But I still have this one brown gray one that had the issue on the waistline, which I'm going to explain to you what I ended up doing for that. And then these two pairs of pants are still store-bought. They haven't been hemmed at all. They haven't been worn at all. So I wanted to explain that one I don't need anymore. For this one, the length is, I think, it ended up 26 and a half, some areas 27 inches. So I'm just going to have to, go like a 1/4 inch in, or an inch, and then just hem it, really, because they've been ripped from wearing, there's really not much you can do. Like I'll do the inseam on the two of them and then kind of shake it and trying to guess. And then once I pin it all inside out, I always do them inside out. So then that will be on the outside. And then I'll pin it wherever I, like from the 26 inch on this one, and then just eyeball it the rest. Just by going like this and shaking it, folding the top, folding the pants, and just trying to figure out where it's going to be. Then I'll have them try it on inside out with the pins in, and then if there's any tweaking, I'll do it then. So these are a lot more work to do, whereas these, I wanted to explain, with store-bought, the inseam. So I did the inseam. Oh, it's on this side. So you do the inseam, you mark it, which I know these are 30-inch inseams and his is 26, so it's 4 inches coming up. Now, I don't have to try and make it equal on both sides because they're store-bought. They're a lot easier to hem. You mark your 26 inches. Well, for him, the inseam is 26 inches, and then whatever is left, you measure, and it was 4 inches. So then all you do is you take one of these gadgets that they have on the market, and this red thing is your marker, and it moves to whatever you need. And so I need it at 4 inches, so I put it at 4 inches. And then because these are done in store, they're like 4 inches here is going to be the same as 4 inches there. So then what I do is where the stitching is all the way up and down on both sides, I will mark it at the 4 inch, put a pin on either side of the stitching. And because there's so much extra material, I did it twice because this is where I'm actually going to be sewing, but I need this to hold it in place. And then here the same thing on this seam. And then from that, you then just go like this, right, with the stitching on the two sides, shaking it, and then it should be pretty close to the 4 inch. And then you just adjust it accordingly. And then you pin in the middle, and then the middle of that side, and on the middle of this side. Same with the other side. And then when you're all finished pinning, you go with this around, and in a few places on either side, you just make sure you got the 4 inch. And then what I do is I'll stitch it about 1 inch up from the end. I'll stitch it all the way. And then I will take off all the lower pins. I'll leave these in. And then I'll just, let's say the stitching is on this blue line, like right there. I'll go about 1/2 inch higher, and then I'll cut all the material. And then Or if you want to do it professional, which it doesn't matter for me, he doesn't care, I don't care. So I do it the easy way. I'll stitch it, I'll cut off the extra, and then I'll go right above that stitching, just like 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch, and do another stitching going around. So yes, this part's hanging. But if you want to do it the proper way, you would now, because you have this all pinned, you would iron this flat so that the flat part of the iron will show you where it's supposed to be folded. Then you go cut the extra off, so you only keep like maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches, because the same person's going to be wearing it, so you don't need this extra, right? And then you will take the pin out, you will fold it under like I had done with the sweatpants. I had folded it under and then pinned it, and just make sure the fold is aligned, and then that way you have a nice job. These are lounge pants. Him and I both don't care. So I'll just stitch this, and then I'll cut off the extra. Because also with a lot of pants, especially these lounge pants, see how it's folding there? Well, that's because this lower part here, see the leg tapers. See, it's small here and it gets wider. So when you just fold it up like that, see, there's that extra material there. I don't know if you can see it. I know it's a blue-black. It's a dark color. Maybe if I do it this way, see, it's wider. But if you stitch down here at about 1 inch and then cut off the extra, you're not going to have so much of this extra. And any extra, I usually put it where the seams are. So, like this one, when I pinned it, the extra material, there's the seam, and there's bunching here. But when I sew down here, there's not really, it starts at about 1 inch, 1.5 inches up. So when I stitch down here, or even 3/4 inch, you can even go 1/2 inch if you wanted to. But when you stitch down here, it's not going to have all this bunching. So after the first initial stitching around, I will then go and cut off this extra because it's easier to work with. And that's why I have 2 rows of pins, because this will hold it in place so that when I go to cut it, you know, like it's held in for me. I guess it really doesn't matter, but I just feel more comfortable that way. And so, yeah, I just wanted to mention that when they're damaged, there's a lot more work involved, because you don't want his leg to look like this when he puts it on. You want it to be straight, right? So pin it, have them put it on inside out with pins in. And when I do that, I make the pins point down to the floor so that when they take it off, you can hold the bottom for them and help them to take it off so they don't get poked by the pins. That's the way I do it. And then with this, you know, like, yeah, I'll pin it. I can have him put it on. He's less likely to get poked because the pins are within the material, but I'll still help him to take it off. But I can always have him try these on to make sure it's straight, because once you stitch it, they're small stitches. Believe me, you do not want to be undoing it. Imagine this hem trying to undo those stitches. They're small. It's really hard. So that's enough about that. I just wanted to explain that this is a different way and it's a lot easier than this one. And then with these, you remember I had the problem with the waist? Well, I thought, oh, okay, so I don't need it. I can just take it off, right? Well, no, because, do I have enough space? You know, the string? Well, the string is part of it, like it's in here, which is why they sewed this down, because it holds this string. And I'm like, oh my God, so I have to stitch this. Well, how am I going to stitch it? because it's elastic, right? You stitch it like this and it won't be able to go like this anymore. Which I guess if the whole thing is like that and it's just a small area, it wouldn't matter. But this is from here, there, to here. That's like a foot long, 14 inches, 12 to 14 inches. Like, that's a lot of space. And I'm like, well, how am I going to do this? Do I have something I can put in there? And I got an idea. I wanted to show you. Basically, what you have to do is you have to find something that will pull that elastic. Now, if you have a 2x4, you could always cut it and stick it inside and use that to stretch the elastic. But since I don't have a 2x4, which you would think I do, but I don't, I looked at this chair, like that's pretty wide, that might work. So I just put it on here and I'm like, well, there's still a lot of give. So I just pulled it in the back so that it's loose in the back, but very taut here. And then I went and I pinned it. So you hold it, like that's the outside. And then with your fingers, you push the material up. I was standing on that side, that's why the pins are facing that way. But because it's pulling the elastic, you then, you pin it. You push the material up from the underside. You make sure all this is straight and you put pins in it. And then, here's my sewing needle. I started stitching here. Oh, actually, I started right there. This is my string. So right here. And I just did a back stitch. And I have to do this whole thing here up until, oh, look at that. It's a seam here. What's that seam? Oh, it's from his pocket. So his pocket's in here too. That's his pocket. And there's a seam here. And then here's another seam. Probably from, oh no, this is his crotch area. So it's basically from here to here. This is the part I'm doing. So, yeah, so I'm just going to back stitch it all the way. And as I go, I remove the pins. And then that way, it's still holding the string so he can tighten it. And it has the elastic, which hugs his waist. And yeah, there you go. So if you have a chair that's really wide, or if you want to put a 2x4 in here, just measure how, like put the 2x4 in one side and then pull this as far as you can on the other side and then mark that with a pen and cut it there. And then you can use that to hold it while you stitch it. Because I don't have a machine that'll do that for me. And I'm sure when they make these, the machines do it for you. So, yeah, I just wanted to show you that's how you would do the waist. And that is how I am doing the waist. So that's it for sewing for the next little bit. Actually, yeah, I know, I'm moving around too much. I just wanted to show my face. Hi. Yeah, so that's it for sewing for this week. These pants are hemming pants, and doing the waist is so friggin' boring. Like, I know I'll be done the waist on this one, probably the leg, which I hate doing because it's been ripped. And then tomorrow I can do these two. And then I have to do my 4 pants. So they're all the same technique. So since this is my priority and I'm doing them by priority now, these pants have to get done before I do another sewing video. I'm trying to use it as a motivator because I really don't care to hem these pants. Like, oh, so boring. But I need to get them done. So I'm going to do that. And then when that's done, that's when I'm going to do another sewing video of the next project I'm going to do. So I'm going to try Friday to do a junk journal. I've been watching a lot of videos the last probably 3 nights, Monday, Tuesday, 2 nights. Well, maybe Sunday night I did too, I'm not sure. Of fairy journals. Because one of the journals I'm making is a fairy journal. And so I've gotten a lot of ideas, and I went in my old journal, the one I keep for myself with ideas, and I came up with a few ideas there. So I will share those with you on Friday, and maybe one of them I'll show you how I created it. So Friday I will share a junk journal video with you. And in the meantime, I got to get these done. And then next week, we'll see what I come up with. Probably the same thing, a sewing project and junk journaling. But there's so many ideas out there. Oh my God. I started talking to myself. And I realized that I was doing it. And my boyfriend was just down, like right next to me, like in the next room. And I'm like, oh, by the way, if you hear me talking, I'm just talking to myself. And he's like, uh-huh. You know, like he figured it out. But yeah, I was actually debating with myself. Oh, should I do this? Should I do that? No, I can't do that because of this. And oh my God, I'm starting to talk to myself. Are those grays kicking in there? Those white hairs? But anyways, I'm having so much fun with it. So I will try and share the ideas that I have from what I've seen, and I will probably share one of the projects I'll make with you, maybe 2, who knows, but that'll be Friday. So I will let you go here. Yes, it's a nice short video, under 20 minutes. Yay, no more of those 1-hour videos. So remember, do what makes you happy, and everything else will fall into place. And like, subscribe, and comment down below. And I will see you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye for now.